Round got the whole thing wobbling, wobbling, wobbling. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbling.
What's going on, boys? It's Clements back on the mic, back with another banger of a video. And so I've played GTA Expanded and Enhanced for at least 10 hours now, I'd say. Well, actually, I've played Expanded and Enhanced since 2013 on my Xbox 360. But no, jokes aside, I've played for a good few hours now, and I think I've played enough to make a verdict on the game. I've experimented with all three different performance modes across both GTA Online and GTA 5 Story Mode, and I think I can safely say the biggest noticeable improvement or difference is the new 4K resolution the game runs at, and of course the 60 FPS the game outputs when put into performance mode. It's a huge change and a massive overhaul over the standard 1080p and 30 frames per second over on previous gen console. That of course being the PS4 and the Xbox One. So there's three modes: Fidelity, which targets the maximum graphical potential possible for the game, running the game at native 4K resolution and outputting 30 frames per second. This mode also includes ray tracing. And then there's two variants of performance mode which highlights that they both target 60 FPS, however one of which also includes ray tracing being enabled. And out of all three modes available, performance mode with ray tracing enabled is by far the best for Xbox Series X users and PS5 users. This mode essentially doubling the frame rate, and it's definitely very noticeable. I couldn't actually believe my eyes. I couldn't believe that PC players have had 60 FPS this whole time, all these years. It makes such a difference, honestly. It's incredible. So like I've mentioned, this mode does target 60 FPS whilst also enabling ray tracing. This and standard performance mode does run the game at 4K, just like Fidelity mode, but it's upscaled. And to be honest, you can see the drop in resolution. However, with how far upscaling technology has come, it still looks absolutely amazing. This mode, Performance RT, is not actually available for Xbox Series S users, unfortunately, due to hardware limitations. Now, I will say the ray tracing in this game is pretty poor, at least in terms of reflections. It's definitely an improvement over last gen and obviously last gen, but I don't think they were really going for reflections. We are still to actually have functional side mirrors on the side of cars. If they really cared about the reflections in this game, they would have definitely implemented functional side mirrors. We are 3 generations in, and Rockstar Games has not once thought, okay, we're going to actually make these side mirrors on the side of these vehicles useful. However, ray tracing can mean many things. It is not just limited to reflections, it's also to do with lighting and shadows and stuff like that. And boy oh boy, the lighting and the shadows in this game, it's all stunning. This kind of lighting put together with a 4K resolution makes GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced look stunning. I play this game on a 4K 120Hz HDR 55-inch TV, and it is gorgeous. It is 100% honestly just eye candy. As I've spent hours in both worlds, that being GTA 5 single player and the online mode, I have noticed an ever so slight improvement in the textures on character models and the world of Los Santos. However, whilst they have definitely been tweaked a little, it's not a massive difference. GTA 5 I've noticed has always had quite low resolution textures, and honestly I'll just put that down to it being originally a fucking Xbox 360 game. If it wasn't for the massively increased picture quality, the slight texture improvement really wouldn't have been noticeable at all. They definitely aren't 4K or even classed as high quality textures, and that's another reason why I say that the resolution is definitely the biggest improvement and makes the biggest difference with the next gen version of this game. Also, just a little something that I have noticed and I thought I'd share and include in this video is that certain in-game sounds have actually changed, such as shoes when you run. Whilst only a small change, it's nice to see attention to detail, and I've noticed that a lot in Expanded and Enhanced. It's little things like this that don't go unnoticed, at least not to those players that have spent a lot of time in the world of GTA Online. And not to mention that the next gen versions of GTA 5 and GTA Online have definitely received quite a few quality of life updates, such as fire and explosion animations being completely reworked to look absolutely amazing. I've got 4K gameplay showcasing the graphical capabilities of this game on the channel already, so if you're interested in having a look at the fire animations and all that good stuff, definitely go check out those videos on the channel. Things like the fire being improved and stuff don't really affect the overall experience or the gameplay that much, but you know, it's still nice to see it. It looks really cool. They've actually done a really good job with the fire and explosions on this game. So, you know, credit where credit is due. I'm happy to give praise where I think it's deserved. There's probably a few more things I've added in terms of quality of life improvements, not just the sounds sounding different or the fire being reworked, but there's probably some more features that I haven't mentioned that do actually impact the gameplay a lot more. I do know there's a few next gen exclusives in the game already, such as exclusive paint jobs and vehicles to buy. But I can't really add too much onto those because whilst I have played the game for quite a while, I've been spending the majority of my time doing heists, missions, and playing story mode. Just trying to check out the graphical capabilities of this game now, more than just, trying to have fun. I was just kind of testing things out. And also, if you didn't know, Rockstar Games have actually officially announced that pretty soon they're going to be nerfing and buffing a few things, specifically things that I used in PvP a lot more, such as the Oppressor Mark 2. I'm hoping to God they're going to be nerfing that motherfucking thing. Things like the flying motorbike, the Oppressor Mark 2 and 1, and the Deluxo really do ruin the experience, at least for me personally. I don't think they belong in a game like this, set in a modern day setting as well. It's just absolute bullshit. Maybe a futuristic game, but yeah, I just hope Rockstar Games learn from their mistakes, because I know the majority of the community do agree with me on that it is complete bollocks. Hopefully they'll learn from their mistakes and don't add that shit into GTA 6, because it will definitely ruin GTA 6. But yeah, back to my original point, Rockstar have announced that they are going to be basically nerfing and buffing a few things across all platforms and editions and versions of this game, which is pretty exciting for the future of GTA Online. I'm really looking forward to Rockstar Games rebalancing some things. So, Clements lad, is this worth a buy, considering the game was released for a third time on a third generation of gaming? Well, at this point, I know it's getting quite ridiculous. For the price that it is now, absolutely. If you didn't know already, GTA 5 and GTA Online Expanded and Enhanced is free for the first 3 months over on PlayStation, and it is more than half the full price over on Xbox Series consoles. This is a massive, massive saving. You can pick up GTA Online for around £9 Great British pounds, and if you want the single player campaign on top of the GTA Online, you can buy that as a bundle for, I think it's around £17. I recommend that if you are going to pick this game up at all, you do it now, even if you don't own a next generation console yet, just because it's such a cheap price and you'll thank yourself long term when you do eventually get your hands on an Xbox Series S or X, or maybe a PlayStation 5. Now, I will add that the reason why I think it's so cheap at launch is because Rockstar have witnessed the backlash by the community, and Rockstar have fully shit the bed, and rightly so. We are sick of this game constantly re-releasing every time a new console comes out. And Rockstar know this, so they've massively discounted the game at launch to drive sales, of course. And of course they've made it entirely free on the PlayStation platforms. Obviously there's been some sort of Sony exclusive deal there. So yes, whilst it's this cheap, it is 100% worth the buy right now. However, from mid-June the game will no longer be discounted or available for free, and will bunk all the way up to full price. And when that happens, guys, the sales of this game is going to fucking plummet. It is not worth the full price tag of a brand new game, because that's not what it is. It's just another part over to newer gen consoles with some sugarcoating. It's sexy, but it's not that sexy. It's not full price £55 sexy. I wouldn't pay full price for this kind of quote unquote upgrade, especially when GTA 6 is this long overdue. I mean, realistically guys, Rockstar could have just pushed out a little small update for newer gen consoles, just so the game could run at 4K 60 FPS. They didn't really need to re-release the game entirely for new generation of consoles and charge money for it. They could have done this for free. But for devs and publishers these days, it's always about the quantity of their bank balance over the quality of the game. So yeah, they could have gone down that road, but Rockstar being Rockstar, they're very much like Activision, I guess you could say. They're just greedy corporate companies. But you know what, for the cheap price tag that I paid for it, and you can pick it up for, it's nice to see the game taking full advantage of my Xbox Series X. It looks pretty. I will say that there's been a lot of issues regarding transferring characters from last gen to new gen. If you didn't already, if you do decide to pick up GTA on next gen and transfer your online character, it will entirely wipe your previous character and its progress on last gen, which in my opinion is stupid, but that's how it is. That wasn't the case from transferring to 360 to Xbox One or from PS3 to PS4, so I don't know why they've changed it, honestly don't. I think they just want you playing the latest thing, in all honesty, but yeah, there you go. Also, characters previously transferred from a console over to PC can't transfer to these next-gen editions at all. I've heard that Rockstar are looking into this, but I don't think it's a glitch or a bug. I think it's a conscious decision that's been made by Rockstar and implemented into the character transferring system. So the game has some teething issues, but it's fairly polished and has only crashed once during the whole time I've actually been playing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Are you impressed? Are you not so impressed? Would you pay more than you already paid for already? Let me know down below. I'm enjoying myself and I'm looking forward to completing story mode for a third fucking time. I've been Clements, you've been absolutely amazing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and take care.